Imagine a bird that weighs as much as 2 grown men, has eyes the size of billiard balls, and a brain smaller than those very eyes. This is not a description of a monster from a low-budget horror flick. This is the ostrich, a bird that once decided flying was for cowards and chose the path of absolute pure absurdity. Today, we will find out why meeting this overgrown chicken can be the last event in a lion's life, how they accelerate to the speed of a city bus, how their mating periods happen, and why the sand myth is the biggest lie in zoological history. Let's be honest, nature sometimes loves to joke. The ostrich is the result of evolution hitting the random button on maximum settings. First, the eyes. They are the largest among all land vertebrates, 5 centimeters in diameter. They can spot an enemy from several kilometers away. No, there is a catch. Nature allocated so much space for the eyes in the skull that only a tiny closet remained for the brain. An ostrich brain weighs about 40 grams. Does this make them stupid? Well, let's just say they are very straightforward. If an ostrich sees danger, there is no committee meeting in its head. There is only one button run. And this is where the real magic begins. You thought the cheetah was the main sprinter? Yes, at short distances he is king. But the ostrich is a marathon-running psychopath. He can maintain a speed of 60 kilometers per hour for half an hour. That is like running from Kyiv to Borispil without stopping for coffee. The secret is in the legs. An ostrich has only 2 toes on its foot, one of which ends in a huge hoof-like claw. One kick from this leg creates a pressure of 2,000 newtons per square centimeter. This is enough to shatter a lion's skull or tear through a steel fence. An ostrich doesn't kick like a human, it strikes from the top down using its entire weight. So if you ever decide to pet this birdie, remember she looks at you not as a friend, but as a crash test dummy. And now for the main fake. You have definitely heard that ostriches hide their heads in the sand from fear. Friends, if they did that, they would have gone extinct back in the days of dinosaurs from suffocation or the teeth of the first passing jackal. In fact, they just lean their heads to the ground to turn the eggs in the nest or pretend to be a bush. With their long necks, they hope that from a distance they will be mistaken for a dry branch. Spoiler, it works so-so, but they are trying. But let's set aside their deadly legs. Because when mating season comes, this 150-kilogram gladiator turns into the weirdest guy at the disco, desperately trying to get the girl's attention. Yes, friends, it is time to talk about the ostrich mating dance. If you thought your attempts at flirting look awkward, just look at him. It all starts with the male literally falling to his knees right in the dust, but that is only the beginning of the show. Next, he spreads his huge black and white wings and starts swaying from side to side like a broken pendulum. Left, right, left, right. At the same time, he throws his head back and takes turns hitting the back of his head against his own spine, first on one side, then on the other. From the side, it looks like he has a short circuit in his system, or he is trying to shake water out of his ears after the pool. But the most epic part is the soundtrack. Forget about cute bird chirping. The male ostrich fills his whole neck with air and lets out a deep, hollow roar that carries for kilometers around. It sounds not like a bird, but like a lion trying to start an old engine. Many inexperienced tourists in the savanna often mistake this sound for an approaching predator and flee in panic. And how does the female react to this whole performance? Mostly with absolute contempt. She can walk around for a long time pecking stones and pretending she doesn't even know this weirdo in the dust. But if the dance was convincing enough and the roar was bassy enough, she condescendingly lowers her wings and the magic happens. So remember, if an ostrich is not ashamed to look so ridiculous for the sake of love, then you should not be afraid to approach that girl. By the way, about the children, a real parental capitalism reigns among ostriches. The male can have a harem, but he hatches the eggs equally with the main female. At night, he works as a heater because his black feathers are invisible in the dark, and during the day, he is replaced by the female whose color blends with the sand. And if you approach the nest, you will find out what the wrath of a 150-kilogram dinosaur is. Ostriches are living proof that you don't have to be a genius to dominate the savanna. It is enough to have strong legs, good eyesight, and a complete lack of doubt in your actions. They survived Ice Age's predators and even the Australian Emu War. They are funny, dangerous, and absolutely unique. Write in the comments if you would risk getting closer to an ostrich than the 10 meters.